The National Coronavirus Command Council, that's our next story we're going to talk about. They're meeting today. And the mask-wearing mandate is expected to be up for discussion. I think it's time up. It's believed we could soon see the lifting of the remaining COVID-19 regulations. A leaked memo that Health Minister Dr. Joe Phaahla sent to MECs earlier suggested the country has exited the 15th COVID-19 wave and there's decline of hospitalization and so on. Everywhere you look, things are going down. Heidi Giokos joining me now this afternoon. What are the experts saying? Good afternoon, Heidi. I love your scarf. Is that a scarf?
Yes, it is. Sorry. It's actually my mother's.
It's a beautiful scarf.
Thank you.
So let's just focus on news here. Talk about COVID-19. Beautiful scarf. The mask, scrapping of it. I say it's time up.
Do you?
Yeah, it's done.
It is. I think it is. I think it's served its purpose. We do know that it was very vital during our first to our fourth, possibly fifth wave. But we do know that there is a document that is circulating with health experts also expressing the fact that they believe that there is no need for COVID-19 regulations anymore. Our COVID-19 numbers have dropped significantly. People have an option to get vaccinated, which we have seen has proven to prevent against severe COVID-19 infection and death. So health experts are saying, what is the actual point of having COVID-19 regulations which now fall under the National Health Act? We do know, for example, it's mask wearing indoors, it's mask wearing at public events, and it's also limitations of gatherings and events. So it seems as though there's a discussion for this to no longer be in place because the COVID-19 numbers are not as severe as before. We've heard from, for example, NAPTOSA. They've indicated that, for example...
It's a teacher union, eh?
Yes, teacher union. They've indicated that, for example, mask wearing in schools for children should not be in place anymore because children don't necessarily want to be wearing masks anymore. They get irritated, they get agitated. We know health experts are also saying, what's the actual point? Is there a point to be wearing masks? Let's rather look at people's beautiful faces and not have a mask covering it all the time. But of course, science will dictate for that with the eNCC meeting. Let's listen to what NAPTOSA said about that.
First of all, I think that when change happens, there are first some embedded concerns. But we've now, for a long time, been calling for a review of masks at schools, simply because the children are not adhering to them. It's become a fight between the teachers and the children. And of course, there are certain levels of discomfort. And we've also taken advice. Months ago, Professor Mahdi is one of the people that had said to us in one of the many webinars that he doesn't believe it's necessary. And we've looked at that, we've sourced opinion from our members, and all of them are at one with the idea that, yes, the time has come to scrap the masks. Of course, there will be those people who are still feeling cautious. And to them, we are saying, if this does happen, you can continue wearing your mask. Scrapping the masks doesn't mean that you are forced not to wear a mask. You can still do that if you have latent concerns.
And that's NAPTOSA's Basil Manuel from the schooling, from the teacher profession, saying, if you're concerned. Yesterday, Heidi, I interviewed Professor Alex van der Heever from Wits University, also another scientist. He was saying, if you got underlying conditions, if you've got some vulnerabilities, you know yourself, and especially if you're above 50, generally, you must take the precautions that you need. And he even said something more interesting, which was cloth masks have been proven, especially against the Omicron variant, not to be that effective. So rather go for your N95, whatever they call them. These are the one that you can get that are better off. But the point is, the bulk of the people, if you've been vaccinated, you pretty much say, because it's going to become more like COVID-19 is going nowhere. It's going to be with us. The virus is here. It's going to stay for as long as it can survive. But what are people saying that you've been speaking to around town, saying, hey, the masks are staying or the masks are going? What's the sentiment there?
Yes, some people have indicated just exactly what you have indicated now, the fact that they might feel a little vulnerable, they might have underlying issues, or they might be around vulnerable individuals, for example, their parents or their grandparents, and they feel as though they would expose them to the virus. So some are saying, let's stick with the masks for now. We don't know what's going to happen with COVID-19, whereas other people are saying, we are so tired of of constantly buying boxes and boxes of masks or having to constantly wash the cloth masks. And they are saying there's no point of it anymore because we need to find a way to live past COVID-19. And because infection rate is so low and because majority should be vaccinated and majority are vaccinated, it's important for us to find a way to live with this virus, and that should not be
and the
with
hospitalizations have declined
Yes.
in terms of severe illness.
Yes, exactly. And we know that despite the fact that there are still deaths, it's a lot lower than what we've seen before. So the virus is not peaking, and variants are not changing into very dangerous or alarming or concerning variants. It seems as though the virus is becoming a lot less concerning, and of course government needs to adapt to that. Let's listen to what the people are saying about mask wearing.
For me, no, I'm still fine with my mask. I don't have a problem with my mask. Yes, I'm still going to wear mine because 2020, I lost a lot of my family members died from corona. So I'm still scared.
It's a wrong decision if the COVID is still around. I think we keep wearing masks until the COVID disappears. Because if we stop wearing masks, COVID is going to spread. Simple as that.
Okay, man. I think it's long overdue, right? If you look at what's happening in Europe and other first world countries, nobody's wearing masks right there, right? So masks, yeah, it served its purpose for me.
I don't mind it at all. Like this is just a nuisance at the moment. Like it doesn't do anything at the moment. So I just feel like we don't need the mask anymore. If you get sick, you get sick. If you don't get sick, it's we're in the stage of everything's getting back to normal. So getting rid of the mask will be better.
We're suffocating inside this, and I'm going to be the first person to remove it, to take it off. Yes.
Frankly speaking, I think it is a good option to be considered, knowing that in Europe many places have already adopted this strategy, so why not here?
Thank you very much, Heidi, for those voxes there, people on the ground. I like the guy who says he's going to be the first one to take it off when that time comes. We wait, of course, to hear officially if it's going to be time to to remove the mask and no longer need them indoors. Currently, we don't need them outdoors. Remember, that was changed a few months ago. Okay, now rolling black.